Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here with me. Today I would like to address something that I never talked about before, and some of you have been asking me in your comments to address the situation with the Spanish journalist who is kept in prison in Poland for a very long time. And I would like to read to you a very interesting article that I came across. It will be a long read, so if you have time, just stay with me. I will read this entire article to you. But before I do this, I would really appreciate if you join me on Locals. It is a safe community that I'm trying to build, so you have access to my videos there. And follow me on Instagram as well. That's another form of knowing where I am and to stay in touch, because you never know with those kind of topics, right? You also have my mailing list. The link is down below the video, and my website as well. So let's start, guys. This will be a long read, as I said, but I think it's worth our attention. It's definitely worth our attention what's going on with this journalist. I believe this is from the Spanish portal, Spanish newspaper. It's called Vila Web. You will have the link down below this video so you can read it yourself. But those of you who don't want to read it, I will read it to you. If I mispronounce something, please accept apologies here. I will try to do my best. The title of this article is "Poland is holding the Basque journalist Pablo González in captivity without his family being able to visit him." And the article goes on. It will be a year since a Basque journalist was arrested and imprisoned in Poland, accused of being a Russian spy. On February 28, 2022, 4 days after the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Basque journalist Pablo González was arrested by Polish special services while covering the arrival of the first Ukrainian refugees in Poland. He was detained in prison in Rzeszów for a month and then transferred to another prison in Radom. Tomorrow, this is an older article, just to let you know. Tomorrow will be a year since González was arrested on suspicion of being a Russian spy, which carries a sentence of 10 years in prison. He is held in maximum security, all isolated and locked in a cell 24 hours a day. There he spent a cold winter, a hot summer, and a second cold winter. Every 3 months, his pre-trial detention is extended for another 3 months. And while the legal maximum for holding someone incarcerated without a trial is 2 years, his lawyer, Gonzalo Boy, does not take it for granted, as he claims that there have been other rights violations. This is the quote from the lawyer, "We are waiting to receive the resolution on the new prison extension basically by May." So this coming May. "Of course, we will appeal against it with Polish lawyers," he said. As example of violations, Boy mentions interrogations without a lawyer to which he was subjected, or the still existing restrictions on visiting him in prison. He is also an example of the great difficulties his family had in dealing with them. On November 22nd, his wife, I'm not sure if I pronounce her name correctly, Ojana Gojriena, was able to visit him for the first time and only time. So this is November last year, 22. The 2-hour meeting was held in the presence of a Polish intelligence agent, and his children were not allowed to attend. The visit was an odyssey. When we found out where he was, this is now wife saying this. When we found out where he was being held, we already applied, but they're always asked for more. But they always ask for more original and signed documents, which they sent back after we sent them. On June 6th, I had to send an explanation translated into Polish as why I wanted to visit my husband, and on July 7th, for the first time, a Polish lawyer told me that the request had been accepted and that I would receive a letter proposing possible dates. July, August, and September passed without any response. According to Polish lawyer, the problem was that activities of the intelligence services and the interpreter also had to be coordinated, which added to the summer slowdown, wife said. I don't know if this is a coincidence or what, but when we hired a new team of Polish lawyers in October, permission to visit came within a few weeks, she said. The previous Polish lawyer was Bartosz Rogala, who took over the case in April. Previously, Gonzalez had been represented by two court-appointed lawyers. Rogala's work did not particularly satisfy Gonzalez's family, with whom he did not share information about the case. He only gave them minor details such as extending his stay in prison or informing them of court dates. Now the activities of Polish lawyers are directly coordinated by Gonzalo Boy. Now wife, again, this is from her. When I visited in November last year, the only visit, right? It was already very cold, around -5 degrees Celsius. He told me he was cold in his cell. He asked for warm clothes and was refused. He was only given an extra blanket. She continues. A few months ago, he got an electric heater for his cell. Now he can go without a jacket. I believe this article, by the way, I will continue, but this is, I think, from February this year, the end of February, but there is much more, guys, so bear with me. So, he's accused of being a Russian spy due to dual nationality. So let me read this to you now, what this is in this article about it. Before being detained in Poland, Gonzalez had been interrogated a few weeks earlier by the Ukrainian special services, who also recognized him as a spy. They based the accusation on his family background, for publishing in the Basque newspaper Gara, opposed to NATO demands, and for having a bank card of the Laboral Kutsa, if I pronounce it correctly, credit union, according to Ukrainian services financed by Russia. At the same time, Spanish secret services went to his house, his mother's house, and the house of his friend from when they were little, to question them on the basis that he was a Russian spy. Pablo Gonzalez was born in Moscow in 1982 and only moved to Basque country at the age of 9. His grandfather, also Basque, was sent to the USSR as a child after the 1936-1939 war and remained there. Therefore, when Gonzalez was born, he was given the name Paul or Pavel Rupstov. When his parents divorced, his mother wanted to return to his father's Basque country, and when he acquired Spanish citizenship, he was registered as Pablo, changing his name from Pavla, Gonzalez, which is mother's surname. Therefore, he has a dual citizenship and a different name in each passport. Family background made him interested in Russian culture and studied Slavic philology. As a journalist, he specialized in the post-Soviet space, so it is only natural that with the rising tension between Ukraine and Russia, and finally the outbreak of the war, he moved into the field to practice freelance. His last public appearance was a live connection from the station in Przemyśl in the program La Sexta Noche. The next day, he was arrested. It was in La Sexta that Spanish Foreign Minister José Manuel Álvarez made his last public statement about González. It was on February 3rd this year, I believe, in an interview with Al Rojo Vivo, in which he confirmed that fundamental rights were respected. Every time I have a meeting with my Polish counterpart, we discuss the case of Pablo González. From the first moment I checked that his fundamental rights are respected, and they are, he said. He also added that his physical and mental state is correct for the circumstances in which he finds himself. His period of incommunicado detention of 72 hours, 3 days, was respected. He has access to a lawyer, both Spanish and Polish. He was provided with a public defender at the time. A public defender at the time. He has access to. One second. He has access to. Consulting and visiting him. He had contact with his wife. But I must also say that the allegations against him are very serious, and the investigation is ongoing. I also ask my Polish counterpart to hold a hearing as soon as possible after the investigation is closed, he said. So here is the response from his wife, from Pablo González's wife, to those words from Spanish Foreign Minister José Manuel Álvarez. This is what she says. She tells VilaWeb, which is this portal I'm reading this article from, that no one from the ministry has ever contacted his family, and all contacts has been limited to the Spanish consul in Warsaw, who periodically visits González and acts as a bridge with his family to exchange messages or help with bureaucratic formalities. The last time our children saw and heard their father's voice was on February 24th last year, 2022, when the war started and he left for Poland. The minister says nothing about it. Not once did I hear him say something about children, wife criticizes. The 3 children were not allowed to visit their father in November when wife was visiting him in prison, nor are they allowed to talk to him on the phone. Telephone calls have been refused because they say they are not sure who is on the other side of the line. The only direct communication is via postal letters, which take time to arrive due to physical distance and control by the Polish authorities. The last letter he received on February 2nd this year was signed on November 21st, 2022. I've noticed in this letter that he was quite discouraged. The last letter she received. And she noticed in this letter that he was quite discouraged. It was a few days before, one moment, my notes, before Christmas, and I could already see that he would be there alone. He was quite sad that he wouldn't be able to be with his family. Then the consul told me that he had seen him well. He even gained a little weight because he lost about 20 kilograms, she said. So this is mainly almost the whole article that I read to you guys. I've heard about this case several months ago, to be honest with you, and this is the first time I'm addressing this. Well, what can I tell you? I think, do we know everything? No, but at the same time, I just know how the truth is being suppressed and how the free speech is being suppressed. Just look at Assange story. Not only his, but he's like absolutely right there. We all know it, don't we? What I know that there have been some protests in Spain, in that region, Basque region of Spain, where the people were protesting against what's taking place, and I know that there are some, what I've heard, there are some letters coming from Spanish, not sure if it's foreign ministry, but some other legal parts of the government. They are coming to Poland in regards of this situation, but it has not been resolved. I would like to leave this as I just read it and follow up on this as much as I can, because, you know, I am just like one of us. I'm watching what they are doing, and it's kind of makes you see the true colors, right? You can justify any decision with being Russian spy. I'm not saying anything here. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? What would you do in this situation like this? How you can change this situation? Yeah, I will just leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. You find all the links down below this video, including this article. And if you know anything else more, which I don't know much about it, I just read you what I came across, I would appreciate if you leave it in your comments down below. Make sure to check your subscription if this content brings you some value, and if it does, hit that like. I also appreciate. Lots of love, everyone, and I see you in the next video. Bye guys.